think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
He just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing XYZ.
I always wonder, well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So.
StephenASmith comments on Canelo Alvarez's significantly bigger size ahead of his fight with Terrence Crawford, suggesting the size difference could influence the result. While recognizing Crawford as the better boxer, Smith cautions that if Crawford can't generate enough power to hurt Canelo, it might pose a problem. His observations emphasize worries about the physical gap and how it could affect this much-anticipated matchup.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Unfortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a victim.
Eddie Reynoso, the renowned trainer of Canelo Alvarez, has responded to long-standing allegations regarding performance-enhancing substances in boxing. Although accused in the past of supplying or permitting such substances to fighters training at his gym, Reynoso has strongly denied these claims. He explained that his fighters, including Canelo, oversee their own nutrition plans and that he does not intervene in their dietary decisions. This clarification is especially significant ahead of the Crawford fight, as speculation tends to increase when a fighter's physique or performance improves markedly. Reynoso emphasizes that his primary focus is on training tactics, skill development, and mental preparation, distancing himself from any direct role in nutrition or supplement use.
Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snack. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic chambers. Get Nello on Snack. Hey, brother, Nello on Snack with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt. Brother, please.
Although Eddie Reynoso has coached several fighters, 7 by some accounts, who have failed drug tests during their careers, he emphasizes that this does not implicate Canelo Alvarez. Reynoso stresses that each case must be judged on its own merits and that fighters are ultimately responsible for what they put into their bodies. Regarding Canelo, Reynoso insists he has always followed a clean regimen and has been very cautious about his food and supplement intake.
Corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC. Maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence. Put it that way. Again, that's not true. I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terrence Crawford's strength coach has made a bold prediction ahead of the highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Confidently, he stated that Crawford would break the beats out of Canelo and affirmed that their camp is fully prepared. His remarks reflect the belief within Crawford's team that their fighters' power, conditioning, and relentless work ethic will overcome Canelo's size and experience. The coach emphasized that their preparation is precise and strategic, focusing on both strength and stamina to match Canelo in every aspect. This statement has intensified an already heated buildup as fans debate whether Crawford's power at a higher weight class will be enough to challenge the seasoned champion.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Some analysts believe the size of the ring could play a crucial role in the fight. A standard-sized ring would benefit Crawford, allowing him to use his movement, speed, and tactical positioning to keep Canelo at a distance. Past fights have shown that Canelo struggles against opponents who maintain distance and use lateral movement, such as in his loss to Dimitri Bivol. Fighters who force Canelo to chase rather than engage toe-to-toe often disrupt his rhythm and frustrate him. If the ring favors mobility, Crawford's chances of controlling the pace and dictating exchanges improve significantly. However, if Canelo can close the gap quickly, the fight is likely to turn into a much more physical confrontation.
Ring is standard size. I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, you talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dogfight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off to a
Veteran sports broadcaster Jim Gray has shared his thoughts on the upcoming bout, describing it as a great matchup between two fighters with outstanding legacies. He praised Canelo Alvarez for his consistent excellence across multiple weight classes and equally credited Terrence Crawford for his dominance in his own division. Gray's balanced perspective highlights the deep respect both fighters command in the sport. He emphasized that this fight is not only about winning titles, but also about securing a lasting place in boxing history.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terrence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terrence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So I don't know how that combination ends up, the weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
On follow-up, do you feel like Terrence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terrence Crawford's a great fighter. Terrence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced strong doubts about Crawford's chances, highlighting the significant size difference between the fighters. Sanchez emphasized that weight divisions exist for a reason, and while skill is crucial, natural size and strength cannot be ignored. He argued that Canelo's power at his natural weight will pose a major challenge for Crawford, who is moving up to face him. According to Sanchez, even a fighter with Crawford's talent will struggle to overcome the physical disadvantages in this matchup.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154 pounder, moved up one division and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. And you talk about a guy in Canelo whose really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo is dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions,
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night, my friend?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3 years.
Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. believes that in a matchup like this, the naturally bigger fighter typically has the advantage, giving Canelo Alvarez the edge. However, Lennon also pointed out that Canelo hasn't appeared as dominant in some recent fights, which could open a window of opportunity for Crawford. This balanced perspective suggests that while size is important, recent form and strategy could ultimately decide the outcome.
Super fight in September, how do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, with the Crawford moving up, he was a 135-pound champion. They had 40, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54 is 68 too much. That's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and two fighters in the pound for pound best. Getting it on. That's nice for boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But if he does it, you always wonder. Will people say that no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough? That there might be an excuse for that. So, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be